All right. Lastly, before we let it go, what are some of the predictions that we have for 2024? All right. What are some of the predictions? Look, for me, I'm all about trying to see what the future is, and I think 2024 is an absolutely pivotal year for rugby. So let me throw some music on. I don't have the list with me, but I want to get the feel. I want to get the feel correct. You know. All right. So what are we going to be 2024 in the this new year? One, I do believe that we will see the beginning rise of African rugby. All right, I know I'm African. All right, I know. Of course, I should be biased, but no, I actually think this is something to be watched. Number one, we are seeing the development of the Springboks women's side, a team that was programmatically weak just 3 years right after the pandemic. But the rise they've made, automatically qualifying for the Olympics, starting to see some progress within their 15 side, playing hard. I think that we're seeing it. Number two, not number two. In addition, you see Nigeria rugby has now come back into the fold. And so that is a population of 250 million people at potential. There is a massive rugby population in London and a bit within the US that play rugby, in addition to those who play rugby in the country itself. And if they can get their machine going like they do with the music, that is a beast that you do not want, that you actually want to have happen and develop very, very strongly. And then, of course, Uganda rugby and starting to make its rise. Kenya rugby continuing to hold the plateau, but Ugandan rugby is starting to make its rise, starting to make a presence. They're starting to be more impactful in bigger matches, which allows them to be seen. If they can get their funding correctly, especially from a national standpoint, when it comes to Olympic standings for the future, you're going to see them rise and really become a powerhouse the way that they should be. Number two, in the US, we are going to see the beginning stages of a North America versus South America club battle. MLR versus Super Rugby Americas. Two sides of the professional sides. World Rugby right now is developing, trying to develop the MLR side with the USA Hawks. Now, if you guys don't know, we didn't talk about it in the segment, but the USA Hawks previously were playing in Super Rugby Americas for like 2 or 3 games last year before the season ended. It wasn't really much. It was really just test games, but they were really considering putting it there before saying, let's go to MLR because I guess promote, your countryside's competition. But these two competitions could be really the Super Bowl element that North America needs and creates almost a URC necessity that we're seeing over in Europe. I don't know if it's going to raise the competition significantly for both sides, but I think it will be actually must-see TV. Because I think it's a great rivalry. Argentina, Uruguay, look at it, Paraguay, Chile, really seeing their pro sides in the playoff against the MLR sides, even with some of those guys having played in MLR. And I think it also takes away a lot of that restriction of players. So you don't have players that are Argentinian or Chilean who are playing for the MLR teams needing to like come back. You get like your straight impact sides going at the same time. So I think that's number 2 for the predictions. Number 3, I think this Olympics is going to be set the standard for what is going to happen. Was it the Olympics? Yeah. What we'll see from rugby sevens again moving forward. Now, we've had 2 Olympic sides. Hear me out. We've had 2 Olympics so far, 2016, then obviously 2020, 2021 Olympics. Both of those have shifted the schedules of how we are playing the HSBC Sevens tournament to the extent that they even changed the freaking logo and even utilizing the first, second, the gold, silver, bronze aspect, and in addition to the point system. This Olympics now has the addition of bringing in the Challengers Cup to be able to bring more teams in, I think we're going to be seeing a lot more relegation that's going to exist within the HSBC Sevens because of the Olympics and finding ways to get the biggest Olympic teams over there. You know, it's small, but it's actually really big, and it makes for differentiating competition and diversity. We still got the repêché that's still going to happen, and the possibility of not having a Great Britain's men's or a South African men's or Canada men's, the possibility of not having that in Kenya or something, that is wild. That is wild, and I don't know how much World Rugby wants to have that be a consummate thing, but I think that relegation is actually going to be a huge possibility for these other teams to see what we can build out from there. But you know, we'll go from there. And my last prediction, I think we're going to see another 2 teams in the Premiership actually crash. It's not because, no, honestly, it's because they're just not, their model hasn't worked. It hasn't worked. You know, I don't know what to expect from them to be able to build on, but they're reducing. I don't know if they have the leverage to be able to keep going on the way that they do. On the flip side, I think that this MLR year might be easily the best year that we've seen. I think this summer of losses put a different fire inside the owners. I think now that it's not that they just have something to prove. I think that they absolutely have, or their egos are now at stake. And I think that they've felt the insult, they felt the vitriol, they felt the fear, and that no matter what, they're not going to let the money loss stop them. And they're going to find a way to keep trying to invest and fund. I think before this, I was a little bit more doom and gloom with the MLR, but I think now I feel more confident about them, about what they can possibly do. So let me know what your predictions for 2024 are with rugby. Rugby union, rugby league, doesn't matter what. But I want to know what you guys are thinking in this situation. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it.